Mama's in the living room watching Judge Judy. I'm in the kitchen eating leftover sushi. And she yells, oh, girl, you gotta hear this one. A man was arrested for running the theme park. And when they said, where's your license? He said, my dog ate it. Oh, you can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on her Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, girl, you gotta hear this one. Mama loves to laugh at how absurd life is, says it's all a comedy and I'm her audience. And I love the way she makes fun of the world. She said, you'll never guess who's with their girlfriend. It was a man who didn't get us out of the bed. He said, I've been through hell and now I need some help. You just can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, girl, you gotta hear this one.
Welcome back. Happy Friday. It is F It Friday, also known as Another Week in Hales, where we talk all the documents that dropped this week in the Hales verse without losing brain cells, if that's possible. So we're going to look at all the things that found themselves into the docket this week. Oh my God. Before we get started, a quick reminder that everything we are discussing today comes from publicly available documents. That is from clerk of court websites, Pacer, which I paid for. So if you would like to throw me some Starbucks money to pay for the documents that we are talking about today, that would be great. If not, I get it. Totally fair. It's not required. Just appreciated. However, I'm not making these documents. I'm not filing these documents. I'm not writing these documents. I'm not putting these people's dirty laundry in these documents. They are doing that themselves or paying their lawyers to do that for them. I am simply reading what they have decided to put on the record themselves to air to the public and give my opinion, which is my First Amendment right. And as always, we have redacted personal information because that is YouTube terms of service. However, they're publicly available documents. Now, based on the amount of paperwork that showed up this week, I have to assume somebody discovered the filing button and got a little carried away. We've got motions, responses, exhibits, attachments, enough pages to make someone question how many trees we are killing. Thank God for e-filing. So grab your emotional support pitchforks, your caffeine, and put a head wrap on to protect those brain cells from leaving your body. Because let's try not to lose brain cells with this one, ladies and gentlemen, because it's going to be a rough ride. So we are going to start with the lowest hanging fruit, the absolute shit show of an Orange County case, just in case anybody did not need to know this. So before we get into that, we are going to look at the chat, say hi to people. No petty rules. No, because I am just a petty bitch, and that is me. That is me. But I do need to make a disclaimer that this is my First Amendment right, and I don't care if people don't like the fact that I have a First Amendment, because these people sit on podcasts and talk shit about everybody and anybody that they don't like and don't agree with. But the minute that someone reads publicly available shit, they get a tightwad. And that's why I call people a cuntsicle, because it's a cunt with a fucking stick shoved so far up your damn ass that you can taste wood. Let's, but no petty rules today. Because Mr. Squid is making burgers for dinner. And when he cooks burgers, I'm first in, my fat butt is first in line for dinner, because he's an amazing chef. And I made steaks last night. He's making burgers today. But, we split our household 50-50, because that's what we do. Also, thank you, Taz, for the $5 super chat, getting us started off on the right foot. Love and hugs as always. I hope you are doing well. Please message me if you need anything. And Heidel, thanks for reading my super mod, my boss mod. I know you have stuff going on. We are also streaming on Rumble. Rumble is just a little delayed. I don't know why things get funky over on Rumble, but thanks for being over in my Rumble ghetto. Hey, Tree God. I did try Rumble Studio for a test stream earlier this week. I have discovered that I am not able to use Rumble Studio as of yet. I have 2 channels, and as of now, Rumble Studio only allows me to hook one YouTube channel up to Rumble Studio. So we are looking at other options on this channel. Ninja Puppy, how are you? Yes, and PSA, Mama Duties activate at any time, although Mr. Squid is home, and he takes the brunt of parental duties when I am streaming and he is home. However, Mama Duties still ensue, and if you have a problem with my Mama Duties, you can file it in the focus bin. And if you are new to this channel and you have no idea what the focus bin is, it is fuck off because you suck. So Gail, good to see you. Let's see if I miss anybody. I'm sorry. Andrea, good to see you. 17K for air conditioning. Lord, we're in the wrong business. It was like 16K, but yeah, that's close. But I've never called, y'all. You hit peak of adulthood when you call a air conditioning compressor or whatever the outside unit is called sexy. We have officially hit that level of peak adulthood. Gareth, how are you? Mom in the house. James, can we avoid hurting our brain cells from them? I'm really just hoping nobody decides to run their head into a wall. That's why we are knocking these first ones out with quickness, because I am not going over the things that were filed twice and all of that. We are just going to go over some responses and what I think of Jeremy's response to a couple of things. Deborah, how are you? Mostly harmless fuzzball. Stats. Lynn, it's so stupid that you have to disclaimer and certain people still don't understand. Well, yeah, but that's a them problem. And my lawyer is handling everything for me, and I'm not speaking on it. So if you are curious, he's handling it, and that's as far as I'm going to say. Yep. And Mr. Coop in the house. Carried away is an understatement. Yeah. Yeah. I love the sunflowers in your picture. They are beautiful. Yeah. Public freaking documents. And it's not my, see, and this is the thing. If, what's her, the actress from the OC, she's married to Ryan Reynolds. I can't even remember her name because that's how much I don't care. But if she can't even stop people from talking about her and her legal documents online, neither can anybody else. Freckle Ginger, how are you? Tree God, good to see you over on the Rumble, in the Rumble jungle. Karen, all right, we're going to get in. T3, so great to see you. Mom, my mother, you think I go into Mama Bear mode? Mom, my mom has been doing this. Obviously, my mom has been doing this Mama Bear stuff a lot longer than I have. And somebody lit a fire under my mother's ass. And that's never good, because y'all know where I get my attitude from. It's this one right here. You think I'm a bitch when I get mad? This one right here, she makes me look tame when she gets mad. Yeah. Jeff Grady, we know you're out there. Hope you're getting better. Yeah, Jeff got in trouble this morning. Apparently somebody decided to go for a walk by himself. Lines in tow. So, Hambone, good to see you. And all right. Yeah, Blake Lively. Thank you. I could see her face. Her name is just so useless to me right now. So, Dad says Judge Wilson, originally put on the bench by Governor Scott from Orlando U.S. Attorney's Office, is not going to put up with much nonsense. Dad knows her husband, Art, who is a sheriff's deputy. And Jeff Jr., I love your dad so much. But this is one of the many reasons that I love your dad, because he has an insight to things that I don't. Like, I can Google people all day and like look up judges, but being a law enforcement in that county, knowing people, he has an insight that I will never have. And it's fascinating. Fascinating. So we are going to get to the lowest hanging fruit first. Yeah, so can a fart though. So, I'd be careful with how you phrase that, mother. Mommy dearest. Mom, if you ever come on my channel, your intro is going to be no more wire hangers. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you're too young to be on this channel. Hey, Florida Flipper, I hope your vacation is going well. All right. And I just have to make sure that, as always, I redacted these documents. Okay. And I got to get my Finder window out of the way. There we go. You know when you have so many tabs open and so many windows open that don't need to be open, that it confuses the brain? All right. That one can go. I still have the NTSB docket up for the Louisville crash, and I'm like, okay, I can take that one down. And we're kind of just don't try to wrap up all those long-hanging fruit. And yeah, we're just going to leave that one right there. Tough room today. Hey, Polymophicus, how are you? And if you don't subscribe to Polymophicus, best explanations of legal terms for the layperson. It's like he took the Black's Law Dictionary and just made it into an interesting video where the average person can understand. Whoever plugged Mama Squid in and charged her snark electronics, well done. We have a fireball waiting to pop. Oh, yeah. That's an understatement. All right. So we are going to get to just the last thing. So our last stream, we talked about all of the different filings that were put in by Lips and the motion to withdraw Michael Federigos as her counsel. Well, she had put in all those orders or all those motions pro se. However, the judge had never ruled on the motion to withdraw as counsel. And I don't know Florida law, not a lawyer. However, procedurally, generally speaking, nothing is set in stone until the judge rules on it. So you can put in any motion you want, but nothing is real until the judge says yes or no. The judge makes the decisions. The lawyers just say, here's what I want. And the judge is like, okay. She had never ruled on any of this. So Randy filed a motion to strike unauthorized filings. And I understand why he did this. And we're going to go through this quick because it is 64 pages. We're not going to go through all 64 we're not going to go through all 64 pages in its entirety because nobody cares. However, there are some interesting things with this. So I'm just going to make sure I'm not in redact mode because I have a bad habit of accidentally redacting and not being in text selection. All right. Plaintiffs seek to strike all pro se filings made by defendant Leslie Federigo's June 9th, 2026, during which time she was represented by Michael Federigo's Esquire. And I am reading this straight from the document, and I am giving my opinion on the document. That is my First Amendment right. Not allowed, I'm being told. Yeah, well, like, I don't have to be okay, and this is the thing. I don't have to be a Florida lawyer to know that something doesn't add up. For example, bringing this back to my medical side of things, whenever I needed to get something done that was outside of my scope of practice, in the sense of I needed a doctor's order, I put in a request to the doctor, and I put in a doctor's order, and he needed to sign it before I could do anything. It might have been an automatic, yes, I know it was going to get approved. However, I had to get his signature before I could do anything, because he was the doctor. So I think about, in this case, the doctor being equivalent to the judge. I have the knowledge, I have the power, I can ask for things, but at the end of the day, in order for me to get to do anything, I have to get it approved by the doctor. Same thing. Anything that I do without the doctor's approval, I can't bill for, which means I just wasted my employer's time and money. Like, just seems to be like common sense to me. That's the medical side of things, and why, although medical and legal are different, there is some serious carryover. And this is where, that's where I'm like, I don't have to be a lawyer to logic things out and know that this doesn't quite make sense. So Florida law unequivocally prohibits hybrid representation, where a party simultaneously proceeds with counsel and files pro se pleadings or other documents. Florida Supreme Court has established that defendant does not have a constitutional right to hybrid representation. Morgan v. Tidewell. Pro se filings made by a represented party are legal nullities without any legal force or effect and must be stricken. And so he goes into the statement of facts. We're not going to get into it because we kind of know all of it, but she filed 17 pro se filings, which constitute prohibited hybrid representation. A copy of the docket sheet in this matter is attached as Exhibit 2. So he goes into it, but he makes when he asks for, at the end of what he's asking for, hey, JC, it makes complete sense to me. And I feel like, yes, is it, in the grand scheme of things, if Megan, Tug, Jeremy weren't having to pay for every motion that is filed, it's kind of petty to make her file all those again. However, when you look at this at the very end, he talks about strike all pro se filings, order that stricken filings have no legal effect, and that no party is required to respond to them. That right there, I feel like Randy, like I said, I've never spoken to Randy. Randy has never been on this channel, and there's a 99.999% chance that he never will be. With that being said, that statement right there, to me, is the most important statement in the entire document, because that's saving Jeremy, Megan, and Tug money. Because if you're required, we've been told, and it's been said on certain podcasts, and they've said it, like, there is no doubt, people have screen recordings of them saying they just want to waste time and money. They want to waste Jeremy's money. That's been That's been said multiple times by multiple people. Well, if Jeremy, Megan, and Tug have to respond to each one of these documents, that is costing them money. So Randy filing this, my opinion is that his whole reason for filing this is so that he saves Jeremy, Megan, and Tug money for having to file them. Because yeah, I can, because you know what? Sitting in a hospital all day when you are used to being an active person is boring as hell. Boring as hell. Think about sitting in a hospital room in a chair where you have an alarm pad under your butt, and anytime you get up, that alarm goes off. You are bored out of your skull. You are unhappy about being there in the first place. And if you know you can walk, you want to walk. And I'm not shocked at all. I'm not shocked at all. Like, so the whole point of this was to basically save them money. In my opinion, like I said, I could be wrong. I don't claim to be a lawyer. I never have been, never will be. And since I was 14, I've never wanted to be. Before I was 14, I wanted to be a lawyer because I like to argue. I like to prove people wrong. And I like to tell people they're stupid with a smile on my face in the nicest terms possible. And that's kind of what, good lawyers do. However, yeah. Not just that, it prevents issues such as with Belatho, where you partially sanction Randy for responding. That is true as well. That's true as well. And we're going to get to that response by Hinkle, because I have thoughts on that too. However, there's some interesting things in this because Randy puts in all of these exhibits. And all of these we have gone over on this channel before. So amended motion to declare Leslie Federigo as a vexatious litigant. And FYI, just in case you've been living under a rock, there is or you have watched a certain channel and they have not told you, there is a hearing on June 16th in front of the judge in this case. However, we shall see if someone decides to show up, because there is, as we went over, we have a history of not showing up for hearings, even hearings where we're representing other people. That's documented in various court cases that we've gone over. So, with that being said, amended motion is one of the exhibits, but they go through. Leslie Federigo has repeatedly filed unmeritorious pleadings, requests for relief and other documents, conducted unnecessary discovery, engaged in tactics that are frivolous and solely intended to cause unnecessary delay in actions. Or, as the video, I'm going to bring it up, that Tug placed on his, Tug has on his on his Facebook page, Discord, YouTube, one of his social medias. I took a screenshot of it, screen recording, because it was sent to somebody. So we are going to, we are just going to look at this really quick, because we are going to get a reminder of what this individual has said herself. This is not our words. This is not even our opinion. This is her own words. Let's remember this. This is her own words.
I've done things before where I have been had people say things about me, and what I've done is I filed a lawsuit and then I withdrew it. To get it on the record, just as because it becomes a public record at that point. So if I'm being defamed or something, I can file it just enough to, if you look at my name, you can see whatever. And then I withdraw because I don't want to go through the court. I've done things, but
so remember, that is the kind of person that we are dealing with. So I probably wouldn't have attached the vexatious litigant motion if I were arguing this, but I can see why. Yeah, it's kind of a 50-50. Sorry. So with that, don't insult Alice Cooper. Well, I just wanted to say what her own words were. And I feel like that, this was a really well-written motion, in my opinion, like from a layperson. If a layperson can easily understand it, then I feel like it's a well-written motion. However, I feel like the link to that article or that interview should have been put in this somewhere, because the judge needs to see that. Yeah, that clip should be evidence right there. I can tell you that was the first thing I put in one of my emails to the person. Yeah, the entire case is to have her labeled a vexatious litigant. And the reason I think that this was added is because it shows 17 filings. Here's like a reminder, 17 filings. She fired her lawyer. She was pro se. She's now pro se. But now, but he linked all of the docket. And we've gone through some of these before and said why they've been dismissed. Some of them not showing up, some of them not served on time, things like that. So not going through all of those, like I said, low-hanging fruit. Sorry, I didn't just realize I was not sharing. So he literally links all of the, this is when her, and these are just Orange County. He does not mention the lawsuit in Pinellas County where never mind, because at Pinellas County, my bad, correction. She was not the plaintiff in the Pinellas County lawsuit. However, interestingly enough, the Pinellas County lawsuit where she was sued for malpractice, this was the lawyer on the other side. Figure that one out. She sued him and then he sued her, but he was representing one of her former clients. So, but that's in Pinellas County. We were going to go over that one before all this shit hit the fan, but Venom Raid. Hey, Venom Raiders. How are you guys? Oh, sounds good. Oh, this is where it's like, all right, this is where I can't go too much into this because my brain will explode with this. Ugh. And I love you guys to the point where I don't want you to lose brain cells because no. Hey, Malin, thanks for the 5 Swedish krona or 50 Swedish krona. Here, dear, never shut up. Malin, I love you so much. You're amazing. All right. And I just have to make sure that this one is redacted. I think I did, but I have to make sure that all the email addresses. This is the other one that I find interesting. And there's reasons that I find each one of these documents interesting, just from an observer. See, there's a difference between talking about a case and inserting yourself into a case. I don't ever want to insert myself into a case. I just talk about the documents because I have opinions And I'm an opinionated bitch. I am. Sorry, it is me. You know? Hey, Stacy, how are you? Oh, and just in case anybody cares, I do have a second channel right there. It is for OT corrective exercise, the thing that I don't have the degree in, according to a certain former lawyer. If you want to subscribe to it, go do it, please. We are up to 389. I would love to get that channel monetized. That is my heart, soul, my career, what I went to college for. I love it. And there's my F-bomb. That is my affiliate link. You will get 12% off if you go to that link, tellthetruth.com/squidproquo, or use squidproquo or squid as your discount code for 12% off. That's my beef tallow skincare. That's how I don't need Botox. Just saying. That's what's keeping me from needing Botox. Just saying. Just saying. Oh. Hey, Angel Baby, how are you? They must be lurking. Hopefully we won't lose too many. Mom, reread that. Reread that. Oh. Yeah. Too late for me. Yeah, it's too late for me too. I was talking to someone this morning at the gym and I was like, I can't do that certain movement. I will lose brain cells. And yeah, it does not smell like steak. It is honey and frankincense. I love it. I use it all the time. Use it as a nail cuticle cream. Use it on burns. Use it on cuts because it has honey in it, a natural antimicrobial. It replaces, I have basically used up a lot of the other products in my drawer, and I'm saving so much money because I'm only buying this. So, hey, Ancient Drummer. What's up, neighbor? Oh my goodness. Mama Squid was right. LOL, leave her alone. She's not exempt to the correcting the grammar, I promise. And hey, Spawn Trooper, how are you? All right, so notice of email to Randall Shockett Esquire over meet and confer over motion to strike filed on 6/9. Okay, so we have the email, but she talks about privacy all the time. Okay, and keeping things private. However, there is a couple things to note at the end of this, and there is a big blob of redacted at the end of this, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm not going to show you why. I missed one thing. Also, we have to talk about the fact that she uses the wrong, or not wrong, but she uses an email address that is not the one she uses on her when she signs her documents. She uses a different one. Make of that what you will. She uses the one that she contacted me through, where she goes by a different name. Shocker, right? Just saying. All right. She goes by Anna, which is a play on her middle name, but not actually her middle name, which is interesting in itself. Dear Mr. Shockett, as you are aware, I've adopted all filings submitted prior to the order withdrawal, and I'm prepared to set the effective date of those filings as today, June 9th. I trust you recognize that I'm fully the vocal fry. I need it. Oh, can I do this without giving myself a hernia? Hey, Valor. All right. I am fully within my rights to adopt my prior filings, provided the records reflect today's date. Yes and no. She's not entirely wrong. However, you cannot file things pro se prior to actually being pro se. The judge has to approve the withdrawal of your attorney prior to actually being pro se. Venom, how are you? Whoop. Whoop, there we go. Venom. And Paul, how are you? Like, it's just, and Jen, good to see you. Wait, what now? Tell me what the F you're talking about. Why the hell did she email you? Oh, Malin, it's a whole thing. I got a cease and desist. I got a cease and desist and a whole bunch of emails with some threats that the police got their hands on, and my lawyer got the rest of it. So between the police seeing the threats made and my lawyer getting everything, that's all that needs to be talked about. So yeah. Yeah. But she not only sent me the cease and desist, she sent me the actual lawsuit that she intended to file against me. Like, I wasn't gonna forward that to my lawyer. Just no, but my lawyer still is handling it because my lawyer is my lawyer and he's awesome. So I didn't take them as alleged. When you're sending me how much I owe on my mortgage, I don't take that as alleged. So I take that as I need to go to the cops and let the cops know that you crossed some major boundaries. And I need to protect my child from you. NEM, thanks for the $20 super chat. Pacer fees suck and I'm almost done. I appreciate that. So yeah, I was made aware of that. Yeah. But that, yeah. I don't play around. I did it when Bruce said that he was going to talk to people about CPS back in the day. I said, you mentioned CPS and my child one more time and I'm going to the cops. And he did. And I immediately filed a police report as well as calling the police in his hometown. I don't fuck around when it comes to protecting my child. I don't. So when things cross some lines, no, I don't just talk. I go get the police involved because I'm like, no, you're not mentioning my child. And you're not mentioning my child trying to scare me. No. And remember, I live in Georgia. We're a very pro 2A state. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, I don't intimidate very easily. But and one of my good friends, her husband is a sheriff's deputy. So, you know. I was thinking, considering what has happened, can you preemptively contact? Oh, when about the false flagging, every time one of my videos gets privacy complained, I email YouTube legal and actually talk to a person every time. So yeah, pretty much. All right, getting back into this document. Your recent motion to strike these filings is entirely without merit. No. Just as I described earlier, it's protecting his clients from having to pay for every response to your 17 crazy filings. Also, somebody, I think it was Robert Braun in the chat, had mentioned that it's to protect his own butt from possible sanctions like Belatho and responding to every single one of them and then being sanctioned for frivolous filings. So no. It's apparent that the sole purpose of insisting I refile already served documents is to unnecessarily complicate the docket and delay the proceedings. Pot meets kettle. Oh, does she look in the mirror when she writes this? I've already agreed to the date of adoption for those filings will be today in accordance with the rules. Pursuant to my obligations, I am seeking to meet and confer regarding your motion to strike. Should you refuse to accept the date of June 9th, my discovery request, it is and persist this right here. So that is not a normal thing that happens on a keyboard. That is something that happens when you use AI to manipulate your text. Like when I write something and I say, here's my draft, make it sound more professional or make it sound like I'm not as angry as I am. And they rewrite it, AI will put this symbol in there. And I will have to go and manually remove them. Because I don't, unless I'm hand taking notes, I don't ever use that symbol. So this makes red flags go up in my brain. It's a simple email. And I can see, okay, I use AI to, when I write an email, I'm like, please make this sound like I'm not as pissed off, because I have the habit of when I'm writing an email and I'm angry, my anger will come through that email, or whatever emotion I'm feeling will come through that email or that comment. And I will put things into AI and I'm like, I don't mean to be rude when I'm writing this. Please make this sound less rude. I've literally prompted ChatGPT to make a comment or an email that I'm sending out to someone sound less rude. So normally people don't, but AI does. And if you look at all of her documents, they are not there. And if someone normally uses them and you look at a document that you know was written by them and they're never there, and then all of a sudden they start showing up, it's a red flag. It's kind of like, what is different? And I'm not saying that it is necessarily AI, but it's just one of those things that makes you go, yeah. You know, it's on your iOS keyboard. And I understand some people use them all the time, and that is fine. But when you look at other emails she sent and other documents she's written, she never uses them. So for them to all of a sudden always be there, it's, you know what I mean? It's one of those things that just makes red flags go up. Like, so yeah, but here's the thing, Jeffrey. If she always used them, that's fine. If they're always in documents she writes, but they're rarely, if ever, there. And now they're everywhere. Everywhere where a comma should be, they're there. So it's one of those things of like, at her baseline, they're not generally used. And now they're used. It's one of those things that I understand where you're coming from, but you're completely missing my point. It's like body language. When people say, oh, this is a lie, oh, this is the lie. No, maybe not. But if someone always looks down when they're typing, and then all of a sudden they're like this, or when you're talking to them, they always make eye contact with you, and then all of a sudden they're looking like this, or every time you ask them a question, they look up, that's a deviation from baseline. That means something changed. So I'm not, but you missed my point where I said it doesn't necessarily mean AI wrote it. I'm just saying it's a red flag to me. Like, that's you. So you still missed my point. Like, because I literally said it doesn't prove anything, but it shows a red flag in my mind that something is different. So you literally restated what I already stated, which is like, hello. Oh yeah, they always watch. It's like, thanks to the haters for watching, because you give me the most watch hours and the most ad revenue. The reason why I monetize my streams is because the hate watchers, because they give me the most view hours, the most ad revenue, because they are the most consistent fans. It's really interesting. Yes. Yeah, you literally just repeated what I said. That's why I was like, you just repeated what I said. I know a professor that has a program that will scan a document and determine what is plagiarized and what was written with AI. More than half of his students plagiarize and use AI to write their papers. I'm so glad that AI didn't exist when I was in college and had to do everything on my own. Because I can't imagine. I would probably be one of those people that would cheat. I'm not gonna lie. That I would probably be one of those people that would be like, this is too hard, make it easier. Not gonna lie. But I'm not in college anymore, so it's not a problem. And I don't intend on going back. I was thinking about it for a while, but I'm like, it's not worth it anymore. I intend to address your conduct in a motion to the court, including a request for referral to the bar. As you are aware, I'm in receipt of your substantial information regarding prior ethics violations and other serious matters, including your involvement in improper profit-sharing arrangements. Oy, oy, oy. I urge you to reconsider your position. That this sounds like a threat. This is the veiled threat where it's like you this sounds like a veiled threat where it's like, if you don't do what I want, I have this information on you. It sounds like a blackmail request, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, and I'm sorry, but like, I have thoughts on that. Yeah, just weird. Some weird shit. You know what I mean? Just weird. I urge you to reconsider. I accept the date of June 9th as the date of filing for my discovery request. Should you insist on requiring unnecessary refilings, I have no choice but to bring your contact to the court's attention, as it serves no legitimate purpose, only burdens the docket. No 17 filings in a day burdens the docket. Saving his clients money, I don't think is frivolous. Best regards. God, that's like the new all the best. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't see it going over well. And Ninja Puppy, thanks for the $10 Ko-fi. I appreciate you very, very much. You are always an amazing person. And Taz, thanks for being a member for 19 months. Holy goodness, 19 months. Still here and loving ya. And Valor Build Parody, thanks for being a member for 9 months. You've just had a squid baby. Wow, Squid has put up with me for 9 months. Shazam. Oh my goodness. Yeah, kids today don't know how to research properly. They're using AI, not reading original sources and gathering information. Even when I do use AI to research, I say, give me 5 articles related to standing balance and fall prevention. Provide me with links. And then I will click the link, see if the link actually works, read the actual article, and see if it's worth my time. It just saves me the time of actually having to like go to PubMed, but I still read the article because that's the whole point. It just saves me time of having to sit on Google Scholar or PubMed or NIH website and search, because I've spent enough time doing that. But always, if you do use AI to research, ask for links and actually make sure that those links are appropriate links. Because just because just because AI gives you a link does not mean that it's an accurate link either. So click the link, read the paper. So discovery requests don't belong on the docket. I mean, we can't really judge that because Randy has done that too in the federal case, in Fed 2. Or one of the federal cases Randy had done it. I think it's Fed 1. So it's one of the situations where that one, I don't really, did it need to be 3 separate documents or 2 separate documents for each person? Could it have been combined into one document or 2? Potentially. It probably would have been easier. Extort how? It's like more of a blackmail. If you don't do what I want, I'm going to go to the bar. I'm going to file bar complaints. Kind of a situation. Kind of like if you don't do what I want, I'm going to sue you. I have no idea what I asked Mr. Squid if he knew anything about the Lego case, because I've watched multiple people talk about it, and I still have yet to figure out exactly what the hell is going on. Like, I just can't. I don't understand it. Yeah. All right. But here's the interesting thing. She uses this Anna, um, email address. Here's the other thing. So on June 9th, she sent this to Randy and Doreen at June 9th at 7:22 p.m. At 7:23 p.m., I'm going to remove it so I don't actually show their emails, but she sends it to Richard Luthman, Lisa Lee, and other people. So it's she sends it to about 3 other people. But it's like, you want privacy and you don't like people knowing what's in your legal documents unless they're your friends. Make that one make sense. And it's yet another thing that doesn't add up when it comes to, I want privacy, or I want all these sealed, or I want this, or I want that. It's, you don't mind when people talk about things that involve you if they're your friends. Being on YouTube and being in the public eye, and you are, yes, a limited public figure because you go on podcasts all the time. You have a YouTube channel, and just because you delete your comments, you delete your videos, doesn't mean crap. That makes you a limited public figure. That makes you open to scrutiny. It's everybody's First Amendment right to give their opinion on other people, whether we like it or not. Do I love that people hate me? No. But is everybody gonna love you in the world? No. And when you put yourself out there and you make a fool of yourself on the internet, or you say things on the internet, people are going to judge what you say, for better or for worse. It's and inciting people to file bar complaints against another lawyer is just so Kiwi Farms. It's just so Kiwi Farms. And then there's her response, which we're not even going to get into because it's a waste of she's a waste of fucking oxygen at this point. Like, ain't nobody got time for her BS anymore. So we are going to get into that's the NTSB docket. We are going to, I have to find exactly what I'm looking for. There we go. Let's see. The motion from, or the order from Judge Hinkle. And everybody's kind of seen it already. But I have a thought, because I have said in the past, multiple times, Judge Hinkle's a dick. Like, I have said it multiple times. So when people specifically Luthman, wanted to get Belaytho removed, yes, I understand people don't like Belaytho. But when people have wanted to get Belaytho removed, I, I'm just thinking it can be so much worse. The grass is not always greener type of situation. So, and the snark in this document is like crazy to me, and I love it. It's just, this is where I've said multiple times, if you've Googled Hinkle at all and looked at any of his prior cases. Oh, hold on. Chrome tab. This one. There you go. Sorry. Oh, hey Jaws. Look at me and say nice things or I'll sue you. That is true. That is true. Good point. All right. Order overruling the objections to the June 2nd order. Defendant Richard Luthman has filed objections to the magistrate's order of non-dispositive order, June 2nd. The rambling, overly long objections provide further confirmation of the wisdom of denying leave to file a reply memorandum. The alternative request to treat the proposed filing as a notice of supplemental authority is also unfounded. Arguing longest or last is no substitute for a single, succinct presentation on the merits. Don't mess with Hinkle and don't try to push Hinkle around. Hinkle is a salty old. I don't want to insult the man but I don't particularly agree with some of his case decisions that I've read about. But it's totally fine because he is a straight to the point, does not give a damn what anybody thinks, and doesn't care who the fuck you think you are. He will tell it like it is, and I can respect that. Because, like, bro, like I have said, Hinkle, does nobody listen to me when I say Hinkle's a dick? Hinkle is not going to put up with the bullshit. Hinkle is not going to put up with the bullshit. I'm just like, and I have this, but I didn't save it. So I have to save it really quick because I do pay for Pacer. However, I try not to be, I try not to be, how should I say? I try not to be irresponsible with Pacer. I try not only look at the docket every couple days. I try not to waste money because this can get really expensive really fast. And I don't mind paying, but I don't like wasting money if I don't have to. I'm bougie on a budget, if that makes sense. But I want to see what this. So there was there was 209. So that was. This is a document I haven't seen yet because this was filed after Frugal. We hear you. Yeah, bougie on a budget. So there's two more documents that I want to get to. So it's he put in an order. Yeah, Squid is picky Pacer saver. Yeah. This was also filed yesterday. And this I did not see yet. Because when I looked, I had only seen the order and I had only heard people really talk about the order by the time that I went to sleep last night because girl is fucking tired. Like I went to bed early as shit last night. All right, this is Luthman's objections under FRCP 72A to the June 2nd order denying leave to file a limited reply, resubmitted. So he resubmitted this yesterday. So we're gonna try to skip over what was the same, and I'm not sure exactly. I don't have both motions side by side. So he bitches about a pro se litigant who cannot file electronically and must rely on courthouse intake of paper filings. That's not a minor administrative inconvenience. Goes directly to access to the court, timely preservation of rights, and confidence that filings delivered to the courthouse reach the docket. I'm going to make sure that this no local 7.1b, I think this is the same so far. If I'm remembering the other one correctly. It's been a lot of documents, and it's been a lot of documents. So declaration. Refiling, delivery irregularity, and docket integrity concerns. I submit these supplemental declaration paragraphs because I'm resubmitting my Rule 72A objections after a serious filing irregularity. I previously sent my objections supporting declaration to the court by UPS, but after UPS records showed delivery to the Gainesville courthouse, the filing did not appear on the docket, and the Gainesville clerk's office later told me it had not been received. Yeah, it's basically pages and pages of waffling. I'm going to look just to make sure everything else. Oh, there's a case. Luthman versus the U.S. Department of Justice. Oh, hey. This is yeah. So he basically puts just his receipt and the photo document. It's really nothing a whole lot different from the last one. So there's not a whole lot that changed from what I can see. But I'm going to download it, and then I can compare. And if anything else, if I notice any significant changes that I did not address, I will let you guys know. But I just can't remember exactly the original document, and I don't want to bring both documents up because, once again, I cannot lose brain cells on this crap. There's just some things there's just certain things that you just can't waste brain cells on. And reading the same document that was filed a couple days ago with new objections, that's 24 pages, is not something that I really want to talk about. However, there is one document that dropped yesterday or the 10th. I think it was the 10th. It's Dan Owen's response in the civil rights case. That is Federal 3 that is on appeal. And I call it Federal 3 because it is in PACER and it is in federal court. Therefore, it is a federal case. And I call it Federal 3 just to keep my brain straight. I know somebody wanted to not argue with me on that one, but didn't understand why I was calling it Federal 3. And I'm calling it Federal 3 because it's federal. And I don't know where it went. There we go. There. What the heck? I don't know where it went. Shoot. I'm going to have to do this again. All right. Bear with me. I have no idea where this document went. So this is the downside to having all these tabs open, is I don't know where my document went. Well, that stinks. All right. I thought I had saved it, but apparently I didn't. Oops. Let's see. So forgive me for this. Yeah, makes sense. Fed 3, all 3 are Hales. It's the way my brain has to work to keep brain cells straight. Otherwise, I get confused with and something is weird here. This is what happens when I do things on my phone and I don't Fed 3 appeal. There we go. It's document 20 in the did I just not save it in the right? I have so many folders that I'm sure I saved it in the wrong I'm sure I saved it in the wrong place. You know, when you go through and you search for stuff and you're like, oh, I oops, that's okay. So now I really could use that Pacer money because I just wasted an extra like $3. Here, I'm quitting streaming and becoming a rattlesnake catcher. They need my help. Ah, groans deeply, burying with squid who doesn't seem to be. I swear I saved it. I'm just not sure where I saved it. There's that's a problem. That's a problem. But oh well, I have it now. And that's all that matters. So, yeah, I'll find it when I'm done and I'm not looking. She is good. She is hanging out with her dad in the living room. All right. This was filed on the 10th, and I just need to make sure that since I swear I saved it earlier so that I could go and redact it. So let's see. Feb 3, 26, 6, 10, 20. This time I saved it. Let's see if it's actually there. Because it's one thing if I actually save it. It's another thing if it actually saved. Oh, this is an interesting conundrum. Why is this not saving? I found the problem. It's not saving. I am saving it. It is just not actually saving. Well, that's a new one. Why is this not saving? Oh. I can just it's like so weird. The 3. Yeah, the last thing that's saving is from a couple months ago. That's so bizarre. Hold on. Computer issues in real time. Huh. Let's try to save it somewhere else. See what happens. I am so like confused right now. No, I have a 2 terabyte drive. Like my this is should not be a problem. Yeah, This document is not saving for some reason. Weird. Yep. Oh, no. No. I just downloaded a thing. And it like says it's being saved in my computer, but it's not. It's like weird. Which is what's freaking me out. Because like it's giving the little like symbol like it's being saved. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. Either way, we can do it on here. All right. So it gives the all the stuff. I can do it straight from here. I was just hoping to save it. And I did not want to do it that way. All right. Statement of jurisdiction. Nobody cares. Statement of the issues. Statement of the issues raises 6 main issues and 21 sub-issues against one appellee. The majority of the issues in the initial brief address arguments which were expressly not addressed by the court in the appealed order of dismissal. I don't do anything small. Go big or go home. Yeah. Appellants, however, have possibly one specific point 7 directed at the district court's order for dismissal for failure to state a cause of action. As shown herein, because there is no private cause of action under the full faith and credit clause, and because the appellee can never be liable under the facts alleged, making any proposed amendment futile, the district court's order was proposed and should be affirmed. Well, the little download button right here should be enough to do anything I need. Save. Oh, look at that. Check internet connection. Oh, what the hell? So I had to recent download history. Apparently, for some reason, my internet connection was not letting me do it. And I had to hit resume and now it worked. But it was in there like 4 times. Every time that I did it, it was in there. So I tried to download it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It was don't understand how that worked. But either way, it's taken care of now and it's actually downloaded onto my computer. Got it. Figured it out. Don't know why that was happening because it said check internet connection. Like my internet's fine because y'all would have told me if my internet wasn't working. Because we've had that issue before. But my internet's working just fine. Statement of case. Is there anybody in chat who doesn't know what this case is about? Like, hey, Jane. 11th Circuit appellate judges are historically apply strict rules regarding standing qualified immunity cases. Yeah. We're definitely downloaded. Thank God. Thank God. Hold on 1 second. All right. This is Dan Owens' appeal in the Jeremy Hale's civil rights case, where he sued Dan Owen about not enforcing the protective order in Levy County. So, Give me 1 second. There we go. Problem solved. All right, getting back to this. Yeah, which is weird, but it's always interesting to see what happens when people don't enforce things. Um, Hi, Lips. And it's also interesting to see if anything can overcome that attorney, you know, that immunity that we all know I hate. They are not a very plaintiff-friendly court by any means. I don't see this really going anywhere. I think Jeremy has a point with being upset. However, once again, there's always, you can be upset about something and you can not like decisions that were made, and always, like, you can not like what people think and people do. However, that still doesn't reach the level of being able to file a lawsuit over it. And I think, unfortunately, that is part of the problem here. So, I just have to send a text message real quick. Hey, two awesome dogs. It's one of those things of, like, you can be angry about what someone says when someone does, and but it does not exactly meet the level of, especially qualified immunity is hard to beat. I hate immunity because I think nobody should be immune to anything. However, sometimes life just sucks. Sometimes people don't like you. It is what it is. I wonder if it's more effective if George was the primary plaintiff. Honestly, I doubt it. I think it's an immunity problem, not a Jeremy or George or whoever was on the lawsuit problem. I just think it was a immunity problem. And that's not to say that I don't think he has a point. I'm just saying you can be pissed off about shit and still not be able to sue over it. That's the problem. It's like people suing over, reading public documents and just not being happy with what they're saying about those public documents and their opinion on those public documents. I'm pretty sure Jeremy's not happy about the fact that I hate this case and that I thought Federal 2 was a piece of shit lawsuit. Do I understand why he's pissed off? Fuck yeah. Do I think it was a good idea to bring that lawsuit, that complicated of a lawsuit? No, because it makes it really easy for people to do what they did. I think it was just a shit lawsuit that should not have been brought because it wasted a whole bunch of money. However, do I understand why he's pissed? Yeah. Is he probably mad at me for having that opinion or disagree with me for having that opinion? Probably. But he's not gonna sue me over it because that's my opinion and he knows it's my First Amendment right to say it. It just All right. On September 21st, appellants filed their 8-page complaint against appellee and assistant state attorney for the state of Florida. In the District Court of the Northern District of Florida, complaint had 2 counts: violation of civil rights under 1983, failure to give full faith and credit. In count 2 for violation of due process under 1983, appellant sought a declaration that the appellee violated appellant's rights by allegedly failing to give full faith and credit to an out-of-state protection order against 2 non-parties. Compensatory damages, punitive damages, attorney's fees and costs, and injunctive relief requiring full faith and credit. Appellants allege appellee was a state official employed by the state of Florida. The entire complaint is centered upon the main allegations by appellants that appellee initiated an investigation by sending an email to Levy County Sheriff's Office as to whether appellant statements about the residents of Preston and Cook were accurate, by appellee investigating the truthfulness of appellant statements in the original protection order and proceedings. Appellee effectively relitigated the merits of the order. Appellate system is to argue lower court decisions and not relitigate a case, but to point out mistakes by hearing Judge Hinkle's decision. I want to say the original judge was. Hold on one second. I don't think it was Hinkle. It was Windsor. Alan Windsor, who I honestly did not do much research on. So I can't say what kind of a judge he is. I didn't do any I find it curious that Dan Owens gave an opinion to Levy County Sheriff's Office. It's nearly the exact opposite of what Dan's boss in Tallahassee said in writing. Yeah. It's weird. This whole thing, I think mistakes were made, and I think people intentionally didn't do things. The problem is I don't think they meet the hurdle of the immunity. That's the issue that I have. And I don't think that the judge in the original case messed up by dismissing the case. I don't agree with the dismissal on the premise, because I think that Dan Owen is a shitty human being. And I think that he purposely did things to cause Jeremy harm. I really do. I honestly believe that he screwed up. I also believe that he didn't screw up enough to overcome the burden of immunity. It's one of those, can people do things that are wrong? Yes. Is it always a suable offense? No. It's welcome to immunity. And why in my petty rules, I do say I hate immunity. And that's part of the reason. Appellee's decision to investigate the truthfulness of appellant statements and obtaining the orders effectively nullified the orders without any hearing or process. Appellee filed a motion to dismiss with prejudice November 21st, 2025, with 3 separate bases: absolute immunity, failure to state a claim, and qualified immunity. Makes me nauseous. Just yeah, number 2 in that district. Within the motion to dismiss, appellee stated full faith and credit clause does not mandate unquestioning obedience. Further, appellee stated the motion that appellee is not an agent or representative nor had authority to direct the Levy County Sheriff's Office. Yeah, And that's another one of those loopholes, is he doesn't have the authority to direct them. However, they listen to him. He's not their boss, but they still see him as an authority figure and listen to what he says. So even though he can hide behind that, well, I'm not their boss, he goes in. It's that, like, I'm not their boss, but they still listen to me. But he can claim, well, I'm not their boss. They don't have to listen to me. It's just weird. Hey, Celestial. I think anything Dan did won't be seen as a true issue until it's a high federal court, where the federal judges will get annoyed about the ignoring of the PO because it was from out of Florida. Yeah, I just that was a squid gagging. Yeah. Where's Spawn Trooper? We can blame the British for this one. Yeah, I'm not their boss, but don't cross me. The conundrum of, well, I'm not their boss, and he can hide behind that. It's almost like a step parent kind of situation of, like, you have to listen to your step parent, but I'm not their parent. Like, I'm not held liable for anything because I'm not their parent, kind of a situation. Ugh. Stupid. Further, appellee is neither a court. This is what I didn't understand about Florida. And Florida, make this shit make sense. And I could not understand this. Be it I'm not in Florida, I'm not a law enforcement officer, nor a lawyer. I'm just someone who likes to read. And so further, appellee is neither a court nor a law enforcement officer. So a lawyer, an assistant state attorney, is not an officer of the court? I thought lawyers were officers of the court. So I know you're not law enforcement, but you're not an officer of the court, so what the fuck are you? A waste of space? Useless lump of... I don't know. Useless clump of cells that functions? Appellee further argued that he had prosecutorial and absolute immunity. December 19th, the district court entered its motion granting motion to dismiss, or its order granting motion to dismiss. District court summarized appellant's claim. Appellee alleged violations of 182265, full faith and credit, appellate's due process by inquiring into the veracity of the protective orders. The district court then found that there is no plausible claim for a violation of 2265, and the full faith and credit clause expressly states that it applies to courts and law enforcement officers. And that's what I couldn't understand. Like, that's what I couldn't understand. What is an assistant state attorney if not an officer of the court? What it's just a weird... What does Florida view assistant state attorneys if not officers of the court? It's so bizarre. And I don't know if this applies to other states too. I haven't actually looked at it. And now I can't ask my district attorney friend because he passed away. So if he functioned, he wouldn't have this work to do. He appears to be a petty shit. And I'm a petty shit, but like, just weird. Further, the district court found that an assistant state attorney is not a law enforcement personnel of Florida for purposes of 2265. They concluded appellants have pleaded no facts plausibly suggesting that appellee nullified anything. That works. See ya, DM. It's weird. The district court next found that appellants failed to allege any facts supported by any substantive due process claim, such that an affirmative act of restraining liberty, nor such conduct would arbitrary or conscience shocking in the constitutional sense. I don't know if this is, I mean, hate really, ugh, I hate to agree with a state official. I really do. Mm, summary of the argument with the initial brief. Appellants do not demonstrate where the district court erred in its order, nor its finding that appellants failed to state a claim under full faith and credit, nor presenting a substantive due process claim. Oh. And this is where I said that Randy needed, or not Randy, Jeremy needed to hire if he was going to do this, he needed to hire a lawyer who was a civil rights attorney. If he was going to do this, he needed to do this right. And I just don't think, and yes, people will spin it. And this is where I hate when people spin it. Oh, he has a bigger plan. Why waste money on that on stuff you know isn't going to work if you have a bigger plan? Like, why just hire somebody to do it right the first time? And it's nothing personal really against Randy, but if you're not a civil rights attorney, like, there's a reason there's so many different subspecialties of law. There's a reason that there are so many subspecialties of medicine. Because shit is complicated. Life is complicated. If I were to do this, and like, I'm not a lawyer, but if I were to do this, I would want to hire someone who is a civil rights attorney. Or if Jeremy brought this to me and I was his lawyer, and I would, like I said, I don't provide legal advice because I'm not a lawyer, but this is just friendly. Like, if he came to me as a friend and asked me what I thought he should do, I would find someone who is civil rights attorney. I would not want to take this on. It's just a general litigator. Like, there's a reason there are different kinds of attorneys, because law is huge. I just, a good case for you to look at is Baez shooting by Osceola Sheriff's deputies. U.S. District Judge Gregory Presnell stripped them of agency of immunity. I think your dad had mentioned that to me, but I can't remember. My brain only works so far when people mention things to me in chat. I just forget things. My brain goes on one track mind, but I'm writing it down. And hi, April. And Jeff, don't get up without permission. All right. What's clear, however, is that full faith and credit applies only to courts and law enforcement officers. That's the messed up part that I just cannot wrap my head around. And I know I keep bringing it up, and y'all probably going to be like, you're stupid. Stop bringing it up. You bring up the same shit every time. But that is where there is something that happens every stream, every document, where it's just one fact or one thing that's written in there that I just cannot get over. It's my, like, squid is broken moment. And it's like, it's the assistant district attorneys are not officers of the court. Does not make sense to me in the least bit. Does not make sense at all. It doesn't logic out. Jeff is off for his final cardiac MRI before Monday. Prayers to him and you guys. His family needs it just as much, if not more. District Court properly dismissed 18 U.S. Code 2265 claim. I feel like I'm having a deja vu moment. I did not actually eat breakfast today. Okay. I had a hot dog for lunch and some protein shakes. District Court correctly found appellants could not state a cause of action for violation of the full faith and credit clause. It found that appellee Owens was an assistant state attorney, was not law enforcement, such that full faith and credit clause does not apply to him. Moreover, the district court found there was no private cause of action under the full faith and credit clause, which would provide appellants with a cause of action for any such violation. And finally, the district court found that even assuming arguendo that there was a private cause of action, none of the conduct alleged to have occurred by appellant Owens would have nullified any of the protective orders alleged in appellant's complaint. Oh, yeah. That's where Randy could use this ruling to go back after Levy County, pointing out that full faith and credit applies to law enforcement. Yeah, he could use the original. He didn't need to appeal, though. That's just, to me, appealing it when there's nothing. The original judge did not make an error. It's, I don't know, like I said, not a lawyer, but just seems like a waste of time, energy, and money. The full faith and credit clause only prescribes a rule by which courts, federal and state, are to be guided when a question arises from the progress of pending suit as to the faith and credit to be given by the court to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of a state other than which the court is sitting. Minnesota v. Number Securities Company. Whoop. And hey, French. Frenchie in the house. All right. As discussed by the district court in its order, the Supreme Court squarely addressed this in Thompson v. Thompson, which held that the full faith and credit clause in either its constitutional or statutory form does not give rise to an implied federal cause of action. Federal courts have consistently applied this rule. It's just, because the full faith and credit clause does not create a private right of action, attempting to sue an assistant state attorney on a standalone full faith and credit clause theory fails at the threshold level of stating a cognizable claim. This is what sucks. Like, this is what absolutely sucks. Like, I just, Hey, Sarasota, how are you? It's just, and it's more, the amendment to the complaint would be futile. 11th Circuit and Florida federal courts consistently hold that dismissal is proper and not an abuse of discretion where a named defendant is legally incapable of being liable under the specific statutory cause of action. Claims dismissed with prejudice for incurable reasons, such as non-existence of a pleaded cause of action, need not be with leave to amend. Title VII claims against individual employees dismissed because statute only covers employers. Dismissed with prejudice where statute categorically did not apply to the type of conduct alleged. This is different case law. I'm not reading the individual names of the case law. Hey, Wikipedia. How are you? Dismissed where only statute authorizes suits against specific defendants, not the name stated defendants. Dismissal with prejudice where warranted where claim fails as a matter of law under any construction of the complaint. In this matter, it's clear that appellee Owens is incapable of being liable for any violation of full faith and credit, as it only applies to courts and law enforcement. That Florida, you need to close that loophole of assistant state attorneys not being an officer of the court and not being law enforcement. What the hell are they then? Please define what their role is if they're not an officer of the court. And what the hell is an officer of the court then? It's just, below is undisputed. It is undisputed that appellants never filed a motion to amend their complaint, never requested leave to amend their complaint, nor moved to vacate the dismissal of the complaint pursuant to Rule 59E. This court held that a district court is not required to grant a plaintiff leave to amend his complaint sua sponte when plaintiff, who is represented by counsel, never filed a motion to amend before the district court. And this was never done by the appellants. The district court did not err, and the appellants have not shown any error. Oh my goodness. It's yeah. Unfortunately, I don't see this being approved. I don't. I mean, I see this being approved. I don't see this appeal going anywhere on Jeremy's part. And that's what really sucks. Because I really do feel like what's his nuts? Dan Owen was kind of shady. But qualified and absolute immunity is really hard to get over. It's just, and sometimes just because we don't like something does not mean we're able to sue over it. You know who I'm talking to if you're listening. You don't like me, and that's okay. I don't like you either. But just because people don't like what other people say on the internet does not mean it's suable. Just because someone does something in life that you think is wrong, unfortunately, it's not always suable. And that's the problem with immunity. And that's why, yes, I hate immunity. It's in my petty rules. I did not play the petty rules today, but if I did, it would say, yes, Heather hates immunity. It is I wake up every day thinking about immunity. I go to bed every night thinking about how much I hate immunity doctrines. But if Spawn is still in chat, you can blame him because we get our immunity from 1607 England. Yes, he's Welsh, not English, but he's the closest we got right now. So sorry, Spawn. he gonna get mad at me for that one. But I'm rude to him apparently, so that one was funny to me. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to get this one out because y'all, these documents this week were something else. Let's put it that way. These documents this week told some stories of how much people just like to hear themselves talk. And yes, don't get me wrong, I like to hear myself talk too. And thank you to the 109 people who hit the like button and the 3 people who hit the down button. I see you. I know who you are. You're awesome. Thanks for the engagement, because there's always haters. And have you really made it anywhere in life if people don't hate you? If you are, I am a recovering people. Well, no, I'm not even recovering. I am not a people pleaser. I am not a people pleaser at all. In fact, I have VA paperwork that says I do not play well with others. With that being said, I'm going to see if there's anywhere I can send y'all. John, you need to hit the like button. That's what you missed. You missed hitting the like button. Oh, also, Tyler Robinson had a hearing today. We will probably be doing that tomorrow. I don't like to do Tyler Robinson stuff live because they seal parts of hearings. They take forever. I can't listen to Kathy Nestor talk live because she's one of those lawyers that makes me want to beat my head into a wall. Kathy Nestor was Corey Richens' lawyer, and now she's Tyler Robinson's lawyer. Defense attorneys, bless your hearts, man. I don't know how you do some of the shit that you do, because I know everybody's entitled to a defense, but sometimes y'all try to make things seem like I don't know how y'all do what you do, but yeah. So I think Let's see. Let's see here. I think redirect. Who is going live today? I swear I just sorry, my brain is on buffering mode. Where's my buffering sync sign when I need it? Dose Reality. Is supposed to be going live today at 4:30, I think. But I can't see her her stream's not coming up for me. However, I am going to redirect over to Nick Starro Slightly Buzzed show that starts at 5. Go give him a like. And if the Dose Realities stream pops up, please go check her out. So please go check her out. Oh, that should be interesting. What you got to talk about today? What time? And that should be really interesting, John. All right. Y'all have a great day. I will see you if we stream tomorrow. The Tyler Robinson hearing, we will be watching it on 1.5 speed. We also will be skipping the breaks and sidebars. Also, it will be around 11 tomorrow because I got stuff to do in the morning. So with that being said, y'all have a great day. I'm going to go get a burger because Mr. Squid cooked, and heaven forbid I pass up the seasoning that he puts on our Wagyu burgers because we are bougie like that. Y'all have a great night, and I will see you on the next one. And Spawn's not here to yeet us out. So I will just say, don't be a twat waffle. Have a great night, everybody. And bye.